I am very pissed off about the way the world is going. I see that we're heading to a point where we're going to be technology, tech, techno, technologist. This is embarrassing. Advanced with technology, but not spiritually. And this is just frustrating me so much. I'm literally so annoyed being a part of this world. And there's a lot of people out there similar to me. Some of us might even just want to end our existence here so we can move on to the next existence. That's a good sign that we are ready for a change, as much as it's a scary thought. Realize that you're in a good place if you're over this madness. If the world continues down this way, I'm afraid there's no turning back. I'm afraid we are coming to a crossroads where there's going to be no turning back. With technology advancing, the way that it's advancing, it's based off self-interest. If we continue to advance technology based off self-interest, we're going to be stuck in a selfish world forever, an ego world. We'll be traveling the galaxy, sure. We'll have all the technology, sure. We may even be immortal. And that's going to be living hell. Hell doesn't exist, but we're about to create it by not listening to what we know is true. What's true inside us, always from birth. If you're a father, you know this. Your kids are pure compassion, pure love. They like to have a lot of mine. Everything is mine. But they start to get shaped into the world that we live on, and they end up becoming similar to all of us here, a selfish-based individual. Some children push back and feel that this is not true, and after a certain amount of time, they end up getting broken to eventually realizing that, well, if I can't beat it, I must. Can't beat them, join them. And this is consistently happening. It's even happening to me. We need to go back to the basics of looking after one another, seeing everyone as equal, as family, knowing that if I harm another person, I'm actually harming myself. That way, when we look at the countries that are in poverty, that we would help them, because we realize that the wrongdoing towards them is causing us to be sick as well. We have copious amounts of food while there's people starving to death. I don't want to be a part of this. I've had enough of it. And that's what I'm fighting back against here. I want to be my true self, and I'm not going to agree with the way the world is going just because it's the only option. I'm creating my own reality. I'm creating my own option right now by saying, I do not accept it anymore. And therefore, we can start to work towards coming back together. Start looking at our businesses, start looking at our schooling system, and then almost completely getting rid of the military complex and having a one world government. Why is that a bad thing if that one world government is based off everyone's best interest? With that fact I said before, knowing that if I harm another person, I harm myself. I would follow that government. I would allow them to be a dictator. A dictator who's a just leader who wants everyone to prosper more than himself. I would want that dictator to be in power. It hasn't worked in the past because of the selfish mindset. We think, oh, we've already tried this. Happening, I think, look, I don't know everything about the world because I don't need to. I just need to know the truth of the world. And if you run a dictator state, well, there's one ruler, but we're based off a selfish economy, a selfish mindset, a selfish world that we live in, always trying to grow one's self over helping others. Of course, that's not going to work because we haven't looked at the core problem. We haven't looked at the root issue. It's like trying to fix something without actually getting to the substrate. Anyone in the building industry or with any knowledge of this would realize that you can't fix what's on the top without fixing the substrate. It's all going to crumble. So here we are trying this idea of having a one world government, and it didn't work. Oh, it's never going to work. Not true. It will work. It will work if we can become enlightened, meaning seeing the light in everyone. Then the world government would get rid of poverty immediately by getting rid of the $1 trillion we spend a year on the military complex, which is not needed. It's enforcing those in power to stay in power, not looking at those in need. This is fundamentally wrong. So what do we need to do? How do we fix this? We need to address the core problem, the root issue, which is the internal problem. Every man in his house, every woman in his house, how he is dealing with his household is the way that we can change this. If you don't believe me, that's fine. But if this resonates with you, then you can follow me as I decide to live a life of compassion, one of putting others before myself. Now, I'm not weak. This doesn't mean I am going to sit back and allow everyone to walk over me. No, it actually means I'm going to make myself immovable by becoming my strongest self so that I can be of service. We all need to live like this. We all need to live a life to make everything just. Obviously, if that's what do you think of yourself as a just person? If you saw someone starving to death and you were full, would you give them food? Okay, well then this is true. That you want to help the starving. Then this is your truth, that you need to improve your self so that way you can help your family onwards, help the next generation onwards, the next generation onwards, until eventually we actually will be enlightened society. And then when we're advancing our technologies, still don't know how to say that word, but when we're advancing our technologies in that world, we're going to be doing it from an enlightened place, a place where there's not possible for us to do anything that will harm one person, because that would go against our nature. So we would only build things that would help us. And there are enlightened societies out there who are currently watching us from above, hoping that we make these decisions. But they're not going to intervene if we keep going down the selfish road. There's civilizations out there who are like that now, who went down the selfish road, the ego road, and they are forever trapped in this dance for power. But there is the ultimate power out there. I don't believe it's God. I just believe it's a society who has come to the realization of the truth, and they've advanced their society off that truth. And they are watching us, but they will not intervene. And it's up to us. It's up to us to choose to be compassionate over selfish. Let's just focus on what we can control. Don't give in. Don't give in. It can change, and it will change. But again, it begins with you finding your power, as it is already within you. You do not need anyone. All you need to do is look within. I am learning how to do this. Once I learn how, I will show others the way. I do not want to improve my life from this. I only want to help others. All I will gain from any of this is seeing other people realize what I'm realizing. And that is a reward enough for me. That's all I want. I'm not here to entertain. I'm not here for anything. I'm only here for what you want from this. That is also what I want. Just to be of service, to be a teacher, to be a guide, to be a friend, to be a father, to be something that I didn't have in my life. I want to be for other people. So that's what I'm doing. All right. I don't know how to end these things, so peace. Over now. How is it that just a normal guy could end poverty in one day? Just me. Just a normal father. Just a normal businessman. How is it that the knowledge that I have would eradicate inequality immediately? I would get rid of the military complex. I would have a one world government. That money saved right there would remove poverty. All the governments of the world, if they had their needs met, they wouldn't push back. The fact that they push back is only because there is no equality. The superpower America keeps all the money for itself and then wonders why everyone else wants to take it from them. If I was given a magic bullet, then I would be able to spread out the resources evenly, so all the people who were wanting to seek power wouldn't need to anymore, because they realized, well, if you come invade me, you don't get any more than you already have. I've given you everything I have. And the societies who would be, because they have all their needs met. All their needs are met, so they don't need to go and get anything from anyone else. So there'd be no need for war. Religion, we wouldn't fight over religion. Your God versus my God. Your God says to love. Treat everyone with love. Love your neighbor. Love your enemy. Get hit on one side of the cheek, turn the other. We all say the same things that we can all agree on. And we wouldn't have to fight over that either. Utopia. Boom. I just did it. And yeah, there's a lot of complications in there, but if we did that, it would work. The fact is, we don't do it. The people in power want to stay in power. And this is why I talk about the selfish problem being the problem. Because it's the root issue. It starts early on. And these politicians rise up into the selfish world, and they are the selfish people who are in power. And the government is meant to be based off our best interest. But if it's a selfish best interest, then it's not going to be based in equality. And that's the world that we live in. So also how I would fix this is eradicating the school system. We would no longer have a school system which is based off being conditioned for a classroom. We would now condition our children for the world that they live on. As the spirit, body, mind connection that they are, we would teach them not only of this world, but of the spirit world where they come from. We would treat them as a spirit, as a entity that is inhabiting this body. But one day, once this body's dead, we'll move on into the next world. Meaning, there is no need to be fear on this. No need to have fear on this world. As this world is only here for our experience. For us to experience what we create. And that is how our school system would be based. A holistic approach to empower our spirit to be able to control our decisions in our life in a way that we can listen to our spirit, which is our guide. And that would just be it would be quite easy to do. It's just the issue is that a lot of people aren't okay with equality. A lot of people want more than other people. And it gets complicated, and some people may have to, end up with a little bit less. But the majority of us would be happy. 90% of us, 99% of us would be happy. Because there wouldn't be a fight for survival anymore. A means to get by. And this is what I talk about, being able to get into your true nature, your true highest self, where you listen to your soul's intent and you move off that. But a lot of times we can't do that in this world. So yeah, we're living in a really backwards world, because our school systems don't even They don't even acknowledge this spirit inside of us. They want us to learn about all these facts that we've made in the world, but nothing of our intuition. Nothing, not too much about our natural bodies, our natural sex. Instead, we shun sex in schools. We act like it's a bad thing, and it's only made for reproduction, or, this is weird too. We should be completely okay with the bodies that we've been given. And in uncontacted tribes, this is what they're like, and they have zero they have no pedophiles, they have no rapes, nothing like that happens. Nothing. And they're fully open with their sex. So it's just very strange to me that a normal guy like me could change the world in an instant, but yet we still have this corrupt world. Well, I'm going to be, for a long time I've wrestled with how am I going to change my world. For a lot of times I would give up and fall back onto the idea I'm just going to bring up my kids as best as I can so they can live their best life. But then really I'm not giving them their best life, because if the rest of the world around me is a sick, selfish world, well, that's the world they're going to grow up into. And I know how hard it has been for me to fight back against this selfish world. I've nearly lost myself as well. I realize that I can't just give them a small version of utopia. I have to actually do everything I can to help, like I said, everybody be equal. So that's what I will be doing in my life. I will be not pursuing my aspect where I can make the most money. I'm going to be pursuing where I can make the most impact for my community. So I'm not going to be going towards that way for selfishness. I'm going to be going towards the way where I need to help all my fellow mankind find their true nature within themselves and their true peace and their true connection with God. And the dichotomy here is a lot of times you actually do really well within yourself when you're trying to help others, because the only way you can realistically help other people is by helping yourself. It's something that I've had to learn recently, which is to actually love myself. To actually love myself. I never have been able to do this before, but I realize if we are all one, well, I should love myself as well. That's a missing piece, but the main thing here is if I want other people, if I want to help other people, the only way I can do that is first by helping myself. So what's the first thing I need to do? I need to love myself so much that every decision I make in my day is based off the point of view of love. So every time I want to do something in the immediate gratification for myself, like sit down and watch TV, I'll ask, is that what love would do? And this is what I'm wrestling with now in every moment of my life, to always seek love. So that way, if love would want me to sit down and watch TV, great, I'll do that. But if my version of love trying to make myself available to help other people is turning myself into the highest form of myself. Love may be reading, love may be studying, love may be working out, love may be meditating, love may be spending time with my children, love may be going to do community work. Whatever it is, that needs to be the center of my focus at all times. Then I bring myself into this place where I am my best self, not off anyone else's idea, just off my idea for my own vision of love. What is the embodiment? What is the manifestation, the physical manifestation of my love? What is that? I don't know. That's what I'm in the process of creating. I can't change the world, but I can change my world. And that's what I want to empower anyone else to be able to do as well. You have the power to change your world off your mind, your creative mind. We are made in the image of God, meaning we have the creative spark of God. Meaning the word I am light, I am goodness, I am love. That is the creative spark that you can use in your life instead of I am a loser. I am never enough. I will never achieve anything. These are using the world's powers against yourself. A lot of people don't realize why they don't have the life that they want. It's because you are creating your reality with your mind. The I am words that you are telling yourself have created your reality. Therefore, you are in the image of God. You just don't realize that you are the one who has created your reality. You are responsible for whatever it is in front of you. And a lot of the times, that's such a bad existence that you don't blame yourself for it. How could you? Why would you want your life to be horrible? Why would you want to be broke? Why would you want to be sick? You of course wouldn't want that. But you haven't looked within to realize the internal dialogue that you've been having from very early on has created your reality. And you change your internal dialogue, what I call talking to the soul, and you start to actually change your life in the physical. And that's where we need to start. We just need to start within ourselves. That's all we can do. That's all I'm doing. So I'm going to be living my life in a way where it's focused on helping others. And I will share, I've said it before, but in my business, where I think there's like 75 other business owners in my corporation, I got rated the #1 in the industry. So the best rated operator in my industry of 75 others. My goal was not to be the best. My goal was to help others. Yeah, that was my intent. I am going to put my customer before myself. That is the best way that I can show myself that I am not living for myself. Is even when I'm working, I put my customer first. Now, when I'm #1 in the industry, it means that I'm profiting. So I've got the profits coming in, but I would dispose my profits to my customer. They don't care if I'm profiting because I'm doing such a good job. So my quality of work has gone up. My price has gone up. I'm more booked out. Everything is getting better just because I'm literally putting my customer first. You know, I can't put my customer first and do the job for free because then I'll go bust. I'll go bankrupt. How am I helping anybody by doing work for free? So a lot of people just think you can't do these things because it's a selfish world, but they just are fundamentally misguided by the world that you live in, that you think that we have to run a selfish world to get what we need because it's a survival of the fittest. It's wrong, man. It's wrong. It's not a survival of the fittest. I just proved it. As in my little business, I just proved that if you actually put others before yourself, you will end up in the top. And if we pursue things, if we constantly pursue them off our soul's intent, then we're going to be listening to our connection with God. And that is the beginning process to not going down any paths that don't serve you as well as serve all mankind and everyone on this planet. And that's what I talk about a lot of the selfish businesses. They're all created from a selfish mindset. They maybe wouldn't have even been created if we had compassion and love at the forefront. I took a little break from recording because I wasn't exactly sure what I was doing. I was feeling like it was becoming a little bit misguided on my approach. So I just needed to take a little bit of time to evaluate, do an internal introspection of myself to evaluate how I'm thinking about things. And I've had a bit of time off, and I've had some very great knowledge fall upon me in that time, which has highlighted and reconfirmed my mission. So I'm back here recording every week to express my highest version of myself and the highest version of myself that I'm trying to be, which is all based off love. Sounds woo-woo, but look, man, I'm sick of this selfish world that we live in. I'm sick of, like, you think I'm trying to entertain you. I'm not. There's literally people right now starving to death while I'm taking this video. You think I'm joking around trying to, like, be entertaining or promote myself. I'm fucking not, man. There's people right now who are starving to death right now while I'm taking this fucking video in this beautiful garden. I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it. So, and I have to work way too much for what I get. So I don't have necessarily the fairest life either. And I see everybody else around me as well is very, everyone seems to be struggling a lot. And I don't have all the answers, but all the answers are within me, and I'm going to find them. And I'm going to document them. And I do not care anymore how it makes me look, because I'm doing it as a way for me to show my highest self. From the number one point is to help others. So good. Use me, dispose of me. I don't care. But I will never stop fighting for those people in need. And I will not stop or rest until it's done. One other thing I want to add. When I say that you're responsible for everything in your world, I want to take a moment to acknowledge people who are maybe sick or have lost somebody. You may have not done anything in your world to deserve this, but it wasn't you. It was a past life, the society that you are connected with inherently. Once you realize that, unfortunately, we carry the responsibility of all mankind, that has created the sicknesses that sometimes take our children, then we can start to change the world once we start to take responsibility for it.